Modern day gaming. It's about as fun as rubbing broken glass on your sack. You already know about the Last of Us 2 leak. A leak would be a small hole in your boat. I would say this is the equivalent of Titanic sinking into the sea. That's how big the leak was. I'm not going to discuss them because Naughty Dog and Sony like to abuse the copyright system. And this is YouTube, where essentially anything goes. Unless you're a content creator, then you're constantly under scrutiny. But everybody else, do what you feel. What? What's that? Someone said her forehead is too big. That video's going down. But all jokes aside, Naughty Dog and Sony handled these leaks about as well as the Gestapo handled some uppity Jews during the Holocaust. Whoa, Stu! I don't think we can say that. It was a good line though, Stu. Stu, seriously, edit that out. But once again, all jokes aside, with my blue humor, yeah, they really did not handle this well. They started crushing any and all opposition. Their favorite was completely and utterly curb stomping small YouTube channels. When I say small, I mean guys under 1,000 subscribers. They literally tried to choke this kid out like an unwanted pregnancy. All right, Naughty Dog choked out RK Outpost, Mr. H Reviews. They even went after Geeks and Gamers, which really comes as no surprise. I mean, Geeks and Gamers has got a target on his back. I'm pretty sure Susan Wachowski has hired a hitman to get that guy one day. Can I even say that joke, Stu? And frankly, none of this comes as any surprise. It's modern gaming. Gaming and all entertainment, for that matter, is not about entertaining you. It's about preaching to you. It's about telling you what a sack of trash you are. You filthy, cisgendered male. You need to understand you're privileged, which doesn't make sense. I mean, if you're sitting at home playing video games covered in Doritos dust, I don't think you got a lot of options for awesome moments in your life, you know? Like, probably just me, the only things keeping some dudes from shooting places up is video games, pornography, hookers, and blow. And they're already trying to screw up video games. We're down to our last lines of defense. Hookers and blow is being taken out by coronavirus. We are in dangerous times. Needless to say, none of this is shocking. They pushed out Amy Hennig. Literally, this woman's probably one of the last great video game creators we have, and Naughty Dog lost her. And from what we're understanding, it wasn't a mutual leaving. And all we're left with is a guy who's obviously one of those self-hating males. How do I know that? Yellow Flash highlighted an Ars Technica article where it talks about Anita Sarkeesian and exposing gaming and most toxic trends and blah, 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 blah. You know, the usual violin that broad's been playing. I mean, she's reached such a point now where she doesn't even have to bang this gong anymore. Literally, she just makes some lazy-ass tweets whenever some sort of drama stirs up to remind people she's alive. That's how much money she's made. If you really look at it, Anita Sarkeesian has reached her endgame. I'm trying to get to mine, but I'll be damned if they won't let me. Nobody cares about my troubles. So anyway, I'll probably use a Yellow Flash clip here, and if I don't, beyond the off-record stories about her videos being used at game studios, Sarkeesian confirms that Naughty Dog's Neil Druckmann and blah, 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 Harvey Smith have spoken about the insight they've gleaned from feminist frequency videos and used in their latest games.
Why? You little piece of dribble piss.
In Erkin's case, Dishonored 1 was so awful to women. Like, every way is so bad. What was so bad about women in Dishonored 1? I played it. I must have missed it. I guess that was my blanket of privilege blinding me to the obvious. The struggles of the pixelated woman. Sarkeesian says, while I love that game, I was very vocal about how bad that was, and so were many other people. I'm pretty sure it was only her. Oh my god, I don't really want to read anymore. This is already Arcane. Heard it, and we were like, damn, we fucked up. And then they fixed it in future Dishonored games. Notice how nobody talks about Dishonored anymore. Notice how that game's kind of like dead. I know people really complained about Dishonored 2. The Last of Us expansion pack Left Behind pops up. Penit's new series is a positive example of three-dimensional representation of queer relationships within action video games. Listen, Carolyn Pennant can't even get a job bagging groceries. Why would you want to worry about her ideas of video games? It's just me. You don't have the Pentagon calling me up and going, Gundam, we know you're struggling to to succeed on YouTube with all the constant changes and things, right? You can't figure it out. I'm like, yeah, that's right, Mr. Pentagon Chief, whatever the hell you called. How would you like to lead our weapons program? You know, nobody would say it was a good idea. Let it go. Let it go. Well, anyway, it's obvious that Druckmann, whatever the hell his name is, was definitely heavily inspired by Anita Sarkeesian. And the funny thing is, I don't know why. Remember, she had some involvement in Anthem? She was like giving speeches to the staff or something. Look how well Anthem turned out. Like, really? She's like got the reverse Midas touch, guys. Come on. Her own company went bankrupt, guys. Her co-workers are working for free. Actually, it's probably why they got her in there. They're trying to figure out how they could get QA testers to work for a fistful of rice. Jesus Christ. You know, I hope my channel doesn't get struck for this, but it probably will. Because they have to silence dissent. Anyone that's not saying that this game is great, they want them to shut up. Because it's basically, get woke, listen to Sarkeesian, go super broke. I mean, that's pretty much what this is. And they're trying to pull the ripcord on it because they want your money as fast as possible. I mean, I don't understand the gaming industry. It's the only industry in this godforsaken world where they literally tell you to get bent while selling you the product. Imagine if Ford Motors put out a Mustang and it looked like a Ford Pinto. And you're like, whoa, what happened to the Stang? And they said, shut up, you bigot, drive the Pinto. I mean, the Mustang. It's a Mustang now. If you weren't so misogynistic, you'd see how practical this car is. It would never happen in Ford Motors. Imagine if Ducati called the 1290, no, the V4S, and made it a Vespa. And then they told you, don't eat the scringini, you effing... I can't even say things in Italian without cursing, so... Boy, big. You know, no other industry does this. Gaming industry and the comic book industry in America and Western culture is so abrasive towards their fan base and still expect your money. Let's watch Neil Druckmann, whatever. I wish he was Duckman.
You parked in a handicapped space.
So what? No one ever notices, except the people who are supposed to park there, and hell, I can outrun them any day.
I missed that cartoon. Explain to us his genius. Get ready, children. This is good.
And the first project we started kind of, moving forward on was called Mankind. And the idea is very similar to what you've seen in The Last of Us, that the cordyceps has jumped from insects to people. And the people it infects, it can kind of create monsters or kill them. But the twist, the thing that was different about this idea was that it only infected women. And you found the one girl that it didn't infect.
We're gonna power through this. I can't watch this more than once. The Duckman basically talks about how they had an idea where this infection only affects women. Seems horrifying. You know, kind of like the coronavirus mainly affects men. But you know, that's real life. Men deserve it. In this game, somehow he watches Feminist Frequency and comes to the realization that this was misogynistic. I don't know how. I mean, how many times you played a video game where you basically kill men? They're either infected with something or they're just men in your way. How many games where is it just fine to kill men, but God forbid some disease turns women into these very scary plant-like creatures? That's horrifying. I'd squeal like a pig. They'd find me real easy.
And you found the one girl that it didn't infect, and that was Ellie. And you kind of protected her and tried to like bring her to this lab where they were kind of finding a cure. And there were a lot of things that we were really excited about this idea, but ultimately it failed. And the reason it failed is because it was a misogynistic idea.
How did the idea fail? You guys just gave up on it. It failed because you watched Feminist Frequency.
The things that she's going to be kind of really attracted to and attached to as she grows up. And as a game creator, I look around at kind of what we are making and what are going to be her role models from the stories, and I don't like what I see. More specifically, I'm talking about our female characters, and whether we want to admit it or not, these are role models.
Yes, because your daughter's going to see Cortana and immediately decide to become a body paint streamer on Twitch. Come on, bro. Like Quiet, nobody even remembers Quiet because Metal Gear Solid 5, though great on gameplay, was the absolute worst for story. And I think that's a chick from Dead or Alive. She's also a Ninja Gaiden Black. But, you know, how is this, like, how are you pretending that this is what women watch and aspire to be? It's bullshit. Go to Walmart. You're not going to see some chick looking like Quiet. Like, for real, the only time you're going to see someone looking like Cortana that's a chick is on Twitch in the body painting section. Let's be real. And on top of that, I'm going to take it to the next level. Why isn't he talking about thoughts? You know, costume cosplay thoughts. They're all over Twitter selling their photos dressing up like this. And if they find a female character that isn't dressed skimpy, guess what they do? They turn that character into a sexualized thing. And then they start selling photos. I don't see Neil Druckmann saying, why are you sexualizing these female characters that aren't sexual? This dude should work at Kotaku.
And yet we sexualize, we objectify, we marginalize, and we reduce these female characters to a lot less than they can be. And this is coming from a guy that almost made a really misogynistic game. So I kind of know what I'm talking about. So once this thing failed and I had this awakening, almost exactly at the same time, this Kickstarter happened about the tropes versus women in video games. And while you might argue with the way it delivers its message or whether every point is exact, you can't argue with just the pattern that you see in the industry. So I was really intrigued by this.
This dude's like, I had this awakening. It was the equivalent of like being blue-pilled.
The videos for the video games hadn't come out yet, but I watched the rest of Anita's videos, and I realized it's not just a problem in games, it's actually throughout entertainment.
You know what's also funny about like the tropes against women? Some of that art was actually custom made by a female artist, and Anita Sarkeesian never paid the female artist, and the chick was complaining on the internet. But everybody just sort of forgets that part. They're like, who cares? She's doing something to help the industry, help kill it. Look at the gaming industry now. Look how fun it is. Look at The Last of Us. Does it look fun to you? Are you chomping at the bit for this game? Is it fun to see YouTube creators get copyright strike for even talking about leaks? Oh, eat a dick, dude. I mean, for God's sakes, I get so tired of that sort of thing where it's just like, oh, everything is geared against women. Dude, when's the last time you saw a superhero movie where the lead guy wasn't a handsome dude? I'll wait. All right? The dude who played Superman paints some minifigures. Everybody acts like it's the second coming of Christ. I've literally painted an entire small hangar bay. No one gives a rat's ass because I don't have a chiseled jaw. But hey, it's women who have to live in scrutiny, not men. That then brings us to our next bit of BS. Where it's obvious that these leaks were from within house. I mean, how else could people get their hands on all of this stuff? They're sitting there going, oh, hackers did it. Like they're hinting towards that. You know who buys into that dumb idea? JTech TV. That's right. A dude who's so hung up on Sony's juice that he also believes that somehow the PC gaming community is responsible for these leaks getting out. Somehow, if you've ever made fun of a console gamer, you are also involved in this man's mind. So anyway, Sony lets out their press release pretty much stating, oh, we know who leaked this, in a roundabout way, which kind of confirms that it was within the hemisphere of Sony and Naughty Dog, but they're trying to make it seem like they don't. In the press releases that came out, my God, look at this. Look at this. The second Sony's like, okay, put out the word gaming journalists, and they all fall in line like soldiers in a Nazi party. In perfect unison. They all put out the same tweet, essentially. This is like that news clip.
Balanced journalism that CBS 4 News produces.
But we are concerned about trouble and irresponsible, one-sided news stories
Plaguing our country.
The sharing of biased and false news has become all too common on social media. More alarming, some media outlets publish these same fake stories without checking facts first.
The sharing of biased and
False news has become all too common on social media.
More alarming, some media outlets simply aren't true without checking facts first.
Oh my God. When they try to discredit outside sources, you need to listen to us because we're trustworthy, not those dirtbags on YouTube. They're in it for views. Ample Dessert said, note how they don't say anything about being hacked or that someone stole it. So it's security-wise. It's PR approved. All they've said is, and I quote, "It's not someone affiliated with us. I saw a post earlier, and I think someone guessed it correctly. Naughty Dog purchases third-party contractors for assets and testings, etc. Contractors hire QA teams for Naughty Dog projects. Testers aren't explicitly on Naughty Dog's payroll, but their salary is dictated by Naughty Dog and contractors, agency agreements, etc. QA testers are being treated like dogs per as usual. They get pissed off and leak it. Naughty Dog, technically, it's not affiliated with us, and that's pretty much what it sums to. This is it. Here's your social justice pariah. And the ironic thing is, I remember when they first put out the video trailer for The Last of Us 2 and some woman was about to be hung and she gets saved. And some female journalist starts screaming that the entire trailer was triggering and they had to stop violence against women. And the funny thing is, Naughty Dog's Last of Us 2 is unequivocally geared towards these type of people who will never be satisfied. You know, good work, guys. You pretty much had a game series that was really beloved. Like, you could put it up there with The Witcher in terms of how much the fan base loved it for that specific game. And you turned it on its ear and you shit down the throats of many people. And you handled it absolutely poorly. Instead of harassing YouTubers with false copyright claims and including websites that merely reported on this happening, you've only made the Streisand effect more powerful. You've created a level of dissension that you will feel when this game releases. For the most part. Maybe not, who knows? Nothing in this world's for sure, I can tell you that. That's the only thing that is for sure. That and me getting in trouble constantly.